What's up guys, this is Brandon H. Lee. I play Kwon Jae-sung in Cobra Kai, and today we will be reacting to and breaking down Cobra Kai Season 6, Episode 10. If you know, you know. So much tension. They're finally talking things through. Who would have thought?
Not your team.
The timing every time, bro.
How would you say in American? Lucky bastard. What happened in match yesterday will never happen again. It's a good thing I don't have to find out.
Dang. Can't say anything about that.
Please. See there.
Dang, Kwon.
Does not deserve to be in next round.
You shouldn't have let him kick your ass.
What did you say?
Uh-oh.
Pardon me. You cost me my spot.
Zara would destroy you. Then celebrate with your boyfriend.
This guy, bro.
You heard me.
Ooh.
We are already returning to my grandfather in disgrace. 정신 차려.
It looks like he's getting in trouble by his mom. That scene was actually the very last dialogue scene I think I had on the show. So it was kind of bittersweet, but it was super cool that I was able to do it with, Tanner and Peyton. This scene right here kind of showed where Kwon's mental state is at. He tries one last bullying moment, but realizes that when it mattered most, he got his butt handed to him in the ring by Robbie, and he couldn't say anything about it. I feel like it's pretty freaking embarrassing for Kwon in this moment. I also love that in the script they put a lot of what I call Konglish, which is like Korean and English mixed together. They put Pyeongsin in there and Uni 좋은 새끼. How would you say in American? That is such a ridiculous line, but I loved it. Shooting that scene with Peyton, she shoved me the first time and I was like, Peyton, you can be me. And she pushed me pretty dang far. That was all Peyton. And then she was like, I don't think I've pushed anyone like that since I fought my twin brother when I was a kid. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, I think this scene kind of solidifies where Kwon's mindset is at after the loss in episode 9.
Replacing Urachigra would be the dojo with the next highest point total.
Wait,
Who could it be?
that means
Cobra Kai.
We back. I think it's so smart how the writers wrote this show to allow Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai to have that big final match in episode 9, but then also not keep Cobra Kai out and bring him back in. It was just genius writing right there. I also remember we had so much fun on set this day. There's a lot of scenes where there's a lot of downtime where we kind of just mess around with each other. And I remember Marty kind of kept having this joke where he's like, "Where's my Injungo?" Which is like his knife. It was just like this funny inside joke we kept having throughout shooting. And he kept saying it like right before the take.
Not his Injungo.
So good. I took a bunch of pictures.
And I was just like trying so hard not to laugh before we were rolling on the cameras. Oh, the music.
Versus Sanjay Zoom
It's your boy, we're back.
and Axel Kovacevic against Robbie Keane.
Dude, those shots are so badass.
Good luck.
Second chances don't come very often, but I will be damned.
They're locked in.
The two of you have been chosen as my champions because both of you have that fight inside you.
Yeah, we do. Dude, we had to do this kick combo so many times.
Harness your pain. Unleash hell.
Ooh.
Nichols. With me.
What's so ironic about this scene is I remember there was one take where Peyton accidentally broke the board when she was supposed to miss, and I accidentally missed the board when I was supposed to break it. So we accidentally switched what we were supposed to do, and I just found it super ironic. I remember Peyton did like the cleanest spin hook kick, and the board went like flying, and we were like, oh my gosh. We did that combo like a lot of times, and I remember it felt like a really real training session, because when we were shooting all the different coverage, we had to do it over and over and over again. I think in this scene right here, you kind of see the attitude shift from Kwon. There's not as much playfulness. He's like way more locked in. He's not as vocal. He's not as cocky. I think he realized that he let his anger get to him in the last fight, and so this time he's just like a stone cold killer, you know? Oh, this is one of my favorite fight scenes. The music too is so good.
From Furia de Pantera, Diego Aguilar, and from Cobra Kai, Kwon Jae-sung.
Yeah, as you can see there, I'm like not as like expressive, just really locked in here. Ooh, got him. Come on. Oh, can't hit him. 7-2 already. Ooh. This guy. Ooh. Ooh. I felt that one for him. Way to sell that reaction.
With the first spot in our boys final, Kwon Jae-sung.
Dude, shout out Justin Ortez right there. He sold that reaction, made me look way cooler than I really am. That's a pretty painful fall, you know, you're not catching yourself at all. I was super glad because I got to put in a jackknife, which is also one of my favorite kicks, which is similar to the cheat 720 that I did in episode 3 where I break the board, the first kick. It's the same amount of rotations, but you actually add the tornado kick. You add one more kick before. That was a really fun scene to do. I remember Don actually kind of just gave us full creative freedom, Justin and I, to just fully choreograph that fight. Just said short and sweet, feel free to show off as much as you can. I know Justin and I, we wanted to make the fight a little bit more intense, but story wise it fit that Kwon is still a big threat despite losing in episode 9, so we got to make that strong statement. I love that there's those moments where we're bouncing and faking each other out. It felt probably the most real to me. Justin and I think have both fought competitively as well before, so I think we both understand what that body language is like and sizing each other up. And then I remember that moment after I knock him out and just look at Miyagi-Do like this. That was my way as Kwon to tell Miyagi-Do, like, I'm not going anywhere. You thought I was gone? I'm still right here. I think Kwon believes that he is the best fighter, even though he lost to Robbie. I think Kwon just sees this second chance as an opportunity to make sure he doesn't mess it up this time and to let it be known that he's the best. I think that's why I made that character choice and not be as expressive during the fight. I still put in the flares of cockiness of like, come on in, but it wasn't nearly as vocal and not as expressive. I think he's just like locked in on the mission. So
Going to keep defending? Or are you going to fight?
uh-oh. Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Bitch, try it again.
Stop this!
I love that, like, this is the most Cobra Kai thing you could do. Just put a cheap shot in, even when you're not in the match. Kwon has taken Cobra Kai mentality to whole new levels, man. Yeah, all of that back and forth between Robbie and Kwon, pretty sure, like, we were just ad-libbing, just getting in each other's faces, and then after, we'd give each other a big hug. Ooh. No, he's out, bro. Oh my god, let's go, Caitlin. Shout out Caitlin Hudson. Ooh, headbutt. Yoosh. Oh my gosh, can you imagine seeing this on TV? Oh my gosh. So much chaos. Ooh, not by the neck. Dang. Oh my gosh.
I told you we should have snuck onto that plane with someone's luggage.
Totally. I mean, we got mad brawl experience.
Uh-oh. This is sick. Goosh. Oh, get some. Ooh, not. Was that in the balls? Ow. Oh, let's go. Ah. Uh-oh. Ooh. The slow-mo. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that kick right there is the one that I was talking about. It was originally supposed to be in episode 9, but we ended up being able to put it back in the brawl here. You know, he jumps off of Kwon there. Originally, he was going to jump off of Hawk and kick Kwon in episode 9, but we ended up being able to put it back in here, and I think it's even more badass, so it's perfect. Sick. Ooh. Dude, this is one of the sickest kicks. Oh my gosh. Mary killed that. I got a behind the scene footage of that too.
Oh, you did it!
So good. She did it all herself. Ooh, come get some. Ooh, come get some. Oh, you too. You want some too? Boom. Ooh. Uh-oh. Boom. Uh-oh. Ah. That shot where I come in and I'm fighting some of the other students from the other dojos and I knocked like 3 guys out. Hold on. Sirens. Yeah, that was actually, Don came up with that just on the spot. He was like, Brandon, you're gonna come here, you're gonna kick this guy, tornado kick this guy. And I was like, what? This is, okay, let's do it. I think it's because we were running so short on time. We had to cut a lot out of the brawl that was originally there. If you could imagine, it was even longer than this originally. So we had to get to those story beats quickly and get to where Kwon knocks down Robbie and kicks Sam and then Axel comes in. But I remember, this is when I knew especially where I was like, Don is so unique and creative as a fight coordinator. Voice crack, by the way. He was like, tornado kick, but it's gonna be a clothesline. Usually when you tornado kick, it's like a kick that wipes like this, right? So usually that's a kick where you take the reaction like this. Don thought of it from coming at a different angle like this, and it knocks someone and clotheslines them that way. Shout out Alan Silva for sending that awesome flatback, but I just love that he was super creative on the spot. That wasn't something we practiced, we just did it. That's one of my favorite shots that I got to do on the show for sure. And then we had to combine that shot into Kwon kicking Robbie down. That's positive impact, dude. I kicked Tanner for real there. He took that like the champ. Again, knowing Tanner, he was like, kick me harder. I had a shin pad on, I believe, and I think he had a back pad on too. And then instead of just like kicking as hard as I could, I tried to accelerate and look like I was kicking really hard and then just stick it and then push instead of like boom. I was like more like here. So that's like a little trick that I was trying to do to make sure I don't actually break Tanner's back as I kick him there. We also, in the same shot, did that where Kwon kicks Sam, and I remember I was just like in the heat of the moment, like stomping on Robbie. I thought that Mary's stunt double was in, so I went in and I kicked pretty hard, and I was like, oh shoot, that was Mary. And as soon as they called cut, I was like, Mary, I'm so sorry, I kicked you so hard there. And she's like, no, it was nothing. Mary's the champ too. Oh my goodness, that was a really cool bit right there. Oh no, Axel coming in. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Use both your eyes.
That choreography right there, I remember, I love that Don put in this moment where he catches Kwon's foot, you know? So you really can see the character differences in their fight styles, you know? Kwon's trying to do all these like finesse, fancy kicks that aren't working, and Axel's just simple and just powerful. He just can block a kick like that. I remember that bit right there was actually supposed to be, I think, like 10 to 15 beats longer, but because, like I said, we were running so short on time, we had to cut a lot out. And I remember Sherwin, our director, was like, how can we get to this moment where Axel kicks Kwon to the camera faster? This is where I was so glad that everyone was so open-minded to what I had to say. I knew coming from the stunt world, as a fight coordinator, you have so much to worry about that you don't technically remember every single beat intricately. Don and Ken had to worry about, I think, probably 1,000 different beats in this fight. There's no way they're memorizing every single punch and kick. They know the structure, you know? So knowing that and having designed and choreographed fights myself on previous movies as a stunt double, I pitched to Don like, hey, how about we do this? And I wanted to make sure I didn't pitch an idea that would throw Patrick off his game, because him and I had practiced that fight so many times leading up to that point. I remember I was like, Don, I have an idea. And he's like, okay, show us, Brandon. And right as he told me that, I was like, oh God, I better not mess this up. Pretty much I just pitched an idea to cut some choreography out, but also smoothly transition it into what we already had. They loved it, went along with it. Honestly, I was probably out of position to speak up like that, but I just knew all I want to do is try to help us achieve our goal. And I just love environments like the Cobra Kai set where there's no ego involved. Everyone has the same mentality where best idea wins. It doesn't matter who it comes from. So I was super grateful that they were open to that idea. It just made me feel proud that I was able to use my stunt background to help out as well in this. Ooh. Ah. Oh. So right there, that's Dante right here. He took that into the camera for real. And then we cut to me and put the makeup on, the blood and everything. This guy's crazy, bro. Uh-oh. No, Daniel. I remember that moment particularly. I thought a lot about throughout my time on the show. I talked to the writers and the creators of the show a lot to get more clarification on why Kwon goes to the lengths to pick up a knife. They were super gracious to give the time to tell me and explain like this happens, why this happens, and that. I also like asked them, hey, can we put like a big bruise on Kwon's eye? And so that's why in the beginning of this episode, when Kwon goes up to Robbie and he has that bruise, I thought that idea of having the bruise there would justify even more why Kwon goes to these lengths, because if you see Kwon's personality and his appearance, he has his hair spiked up like that. Someone like that, all they care about is their image and how invincible they look. And so if he has a reminder right there all the time, I think it becomes extremely embarrassing and more infuriating. And I think we've seen Kwon extremely mad in the past already, especially in episode 9. You know, he's just full of rage during that fight. To me, I was thinking, what is past the threshold of anger? What's the complete opposite of anger? It's laughter. You know, so what I was thinking from Kwon's point of view is, how do I keep losing this fight? I'm better than everyone here. What the frick?
Watch your profanity.
And he's just constantly so using this anger over and over and over again and trying to find answers from the universe. And lo and behold, there's a knife right in front of him. So I thought that Kwon sees that as almost comical, of like the universe trying to test him. If he's going to go those lengths, like, okay, I'll go those lengths. So that's why I made that character choice. I hope it played well, yeah. Yeah, so crazy to see it again. I remember the way that Kwon fell on the knife. We knew for a long time that Kwon was gonna somehow try to use the knife and fall on it somehow. When we were choreographing how he goes about it, I remember I kind of felt like some of the ideas that we already had felt like Kwon was running into it too easily. He's too skilled of a fighter to just like fall on a knife so easily. So I remember I pitched the idea again, and I was like, what if Axel and Kwon try to go for the same kick, but in the air, Axel sweeps Kwon's legs and he lands on a knife. And Don again asked me, can you do that? And I was like, yeah. And again, I was like, Oh god, can I do that? Originally, as I've said before, we were trying to stack the hit. So it ended up working out with our timing. Patrick actually hit me a little bit on one take and he was like, dude, I'm so sorry. But I was like, no, dude, do it again. It felt so much better that way. And the way the camera angle is, you can't stack the hit. You actually have to make positive impact. So it ended up playing out so much better. And the way he hits me actually helps me fall onto the knife more. So shout out Patrick. That's a really hard kick and a really hard timing for us to both be in sync like that. When it's slow motion and we're both in the air like that, you don't know who's gonna win, you know? It just like builds the tension more for what ends up happening right there. Ooh. So I remember actually that shot right here where I'm just lying there and you don't see any blood yet. We had to combine so many different shots. Me falling from the camera, picking up the knife, that quick insert shot where you see me twirling the knife. And originally I look at Miyagi-Do and then Yoon comes in. He gets thrown in by Axel and hits me. And then I see Axel and then I yell and I go at him, do the choreography, fall onto the knife. And I remember after all that yelling, it was so hard to just like hold my breath and keep my eyes open there. At one point, I was legit like, I might actually die here. Like I can't hold my breath any longer because I was so gassed out. We were fighting all day long. And then all of a sudden I have to like that was really hard. I remember there was one take where after they called cut, I didn't realize it until I watched that video, but I just lied there for a little bit and Patrick came over and he's like, yo, you good? Yo, you good? Because it took me a while to like get the oxygen back up and flowing there. That was definitely one of the hardest days I had on set, but definitely one of the best days. Oh. Dude, so what's crazy is that there's so many funny stories behind this moment, even though it's like probably the darkest moment in Cobra Kai history. First of all, I think the SFX department, they had like this tube. I had like a wraparound knife to put on here, and then they poked a hole in my uniform, in my tobok, my gi. Just the knife would stick out. Obviously, it was a rubber knife. It's a prop knife. They had the tube to have the blood like ooze out. And I just remember like lying there and like all these people were like circled around me all the time. And it was just like the craziest thing ever. And I remember people just looking at me like, because for me, like I was like super bloody and everything, but I don't see myself. So I was just having a good time like lying down there on the floor. But some people were like, dude, oh my gosh, like it looks so real because it's movie magic, baby, you know. Another funny thing there is Ralph came in and turned me over. As he was turning me, like I was surprised how hard it is to like act dead, to just literally not move at all whatsoever and keep your eyes open and don't blink. I just made sure when he turned me over, like I don't help him at all. He turned me over, and as he turned me over, you could see the knife would just go doing. I felt so bad. I could just hear Ralph, like when we were shooting his coverage there. Sherwin, our director, was on like the microphone and like directing Ralph as we were shooting, and he's like, Ralph, can you move the knife so it's not moving around? And then Ralph was just like, he was like in the moment and he's like tearing up and stuff. He's just like, shoot, oh dang it, and just like trying to like move the knife so it's still. And I just felt so bad, and I'm like, I want to help, but if I move, I'm just gonna make this harder and worse. So I'm just sitting there while the Ralph Macchio is trying to make sure this knife in me is still. I just remember that being a really funny and ridiculous story behind a very dark scene. But yeah. Oh.
Cut the feed. Cut the feed!
What a way to end the season, man. Oh my gosh. That episode especially, when we shot that, the ending of that brawl, was something I will never forget for the rest of my life. When we finished that scene, everyone, there's like this huge circle around me, and everyone gave me a huge round of applause, and Jacob Bertrand started yelling, speech, 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 speech. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do? Speech, speech, speech. Cobra Kai never dies! Oh, before that though, everyone was telling me to hit the Kwon, and I was hitting the Kwon and with the knife in me. I kind of blacked out on what I said, but just pretty much said how grateful I was to be on the show. And I just remember I was tearing up because, you know, it was genuinely like just such a dream come true to be on this show. I can't even express it into words, and just to be in the presence of all of those just legendary, amazing people that I've looked up to for so long, and for it to come to an end so quickly was like the most bittersweet moment, but also the most grateful moment. And just man, I can't even put it into words. I just remember afterwards, I felt like almost like Mickey Mouse at Disneyland, where everyone wanted to take a picture with me with all the blood on me and the and the knife in me. It was just like the most dark humor possible. I just remember like after part 2 came out and I posted it on my Instagram, just remember seeing a lot of you guys out there, the fans, just commenting, "We're crying." Meanwhile, these guys on set are like, "Yeah." Yeah, sorry we put you through that, guys, but we had an amazing time while shooting it. So well, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. Obviously, it seems like this might be the last one, but I plan on continuing making these videos. Hopefully, I'll have some guests from the show come on and interview them. Maybe have them break down their scenes. I also plan on breaking down other shows and short films that I've made, other things that I've been in. So if you guys haven't watched those, feel free to check those out. They're on my YouTube. And yeah, I plan on continuing to make videos like this. So if you guys enjoyed it, please feel to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Follow me on my social media below. I know a lot of you Cobra Kai fans out there might think that this is the end, but to me, I feel like this is a new beginning to establish an amazing relationship with you guys. You guys have welcomed me with open arms, and I am forever grateful, and I want to keep the relationship going. So stay tuned. There will be much more content and hopefully more shows in the future to show you guys. Well, until next time.
Peace.